Hey guys, today we're going to go over some of the basic movements that we use in basically every kick it class. So the first basic movement is just your fighter stance. So it is left foot forward, right foot back, front hand by your cheek, back hand by your jawline. And then for southpaw, which is lefty, it would basically be the opposite. So right foot forward, left foot back, hands up. The next basic movement we have in all of the classes is the jab. So the jab, we're going to start with our hands by our face, left foot forward, right foot back in your fighter stance, and punch and back, punch and back. All right, after the jab we have the cross, which we use with our right hand. So back in your fighter stance, hand by your face. And what we're going to do before we add the arms is show the footwork. See if you can see me here. And when you punch out, you want to pivot your back foot while you're punching. So keep your front foot solid, pivot and back, pivot and back. Now let's add the arm. Pivot and back, pivot and back, pivot and back. Basically all your power is coming from your back foot, so you want to make sure that you're always pivoting it. Another basic move we have is the uppercut, front foot. So if you're not in a combination, if it's just this one punch, you're going to uppercut and pivot, uppercut and pivot, uppercut and pivot. Same with your right hand, uppercut, pivot, uppercut, pivot, uppercut, pivot. All right, our next move that we have is the hook. So we're gonna get in our fighter stance, hands up, of course. So we're gonna take our left hand and we're gonna hook it around like this while also moving our front foot. Now, just remember that the only reason why I'm pivoting my front foot is because I'm just doing this one punch, not in combination. Like say you would be doing a hook and then an uppercut, you wouldn't pivot the front foot, but since we're just learning this, we're going to pivot the front foot. So, hook and pivot, hook and pivot. Same with the back, pivot and back, and back, and back. Just always make sure that you bring your hands back to your face. Next move is the front kick, so we're going to do it on each leg. We're going to do really slow motion so you can get the basic mechanics of it. So the first thing you're going to do, stand with your legs about shoulder length apart, lift up, well also, hands by the face, lift up, right knee, flick out, in, reset, up, out, in, reset. Also make sure on these kicks that you're flexing your foot, up, out, in, reset, up, out, in, reset. Let's try the left leg. Hands up, leg up, out, in, reset. Up, out, in, reset. One more time. Up, out, in, reset. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing, but it's going to be a back kick. So same basic principles, but we're going to the back, obviously. So hands by the face, right leg up, back, in, reset. Up, back, in, reset. Up, back, in, reset. Just make sure that you're actually kicking it and you're not flicking it. Sometimes if we get too fast, you can tend to flick it. So we've got to remember the proper form. Let's do it on the left leg now. Up, back, in, reset. Up, back, in, reset. That one wasn't good. Up, back, in, reset. Up, back, in, reset. All right, now we are going to do the side kick. So, same basic principles, up, out, in, reset, except we're going to each side, keeping our foot flexed on this one. So we're still square to the front with these side kicks. Hands by the face, pick your right leg up, kick it out, kick it in, reset. Up, out, in, reset. Up, out, in, reset. Up, out, in, reset. Sometimes people tend to lean to the other side, which is fine, helps balance. All right, now we're going to do the left foot. Up, out, in, reset. Up, out, in, reset. Up, out, in, reset. All right, now our last kick that we have is the roundhouse kick, and this one's a little different because you're going to point your toes instead of flexing. We flex our toes in every other kick besides the roundhouse kick. Also, another thing that's different with this is you're going to take your opposite foot and point it to the opposite way. So if we're kicking roundhouse kick with our right leg, we're going to be pointing our left foot to the left. Makes sense, helps with stability. Also make sure you keep a little bend in this leg when you're kicking because that'll also help with your stability. So what we're going to do with this one, hands by the face, we're going to take our foot back by our butt, out, back, down. Up, out, back, down. Up, out, back, down. Practice with our left. Remember, first move is up, foot up by the tush. Here we go. Right foot pointed to the right. Up, out, in, down. Up, out, in, down. Up, out, in, down. All right, so that's it for the kicks for now. Next, we're gonna do some basic squat and lunges, which we use in basically all of the Kick It workout. So for the squat, make sure your hips are about shoulder length apart. Sit back into your tush like you're sitting back into a chair, and make sure that your weight is on your heels, not on your toes, because that's really not where you want the exercise to be working from in the squat. So sit back like you're in a chair. Try to keep your chest up, and then push back up from your heels. Back, squat down, keep your chest up. Back, down, up. And also when you're doing the squat, try to make sure that your knee doesn't go over your toe. That's a common mistake, and that's a sign that you're kind of putting the weight on the front of your foot instead of the back. So let's try it one more time. Sit back in the chair, down and up. Next is the lunge. Basically kind of the same concept as the squat, except we're doing it one leg at a time. So I'm going to turn to the left here. We are going to take right foot. I know it's hard to see my feet in here. We're going to go right foot forward, and then you're going to lean down, trying to keep your weight in the heel of the front foot, and then try to kind of make a 90-degree angle with your back foot. Try to go down as comfortable as you can without having your knee go over your front toe. So down and up, down and up. Let's try it on the other side. Left foot forward. Once again, make sure you're keeping your weight in your heels. Try to take a decent sized step forward without making yourself fall over. 90-degree angle, taking the knee down as low as you're comfortable with in the back. Keeping the front knee not going over the front toes. Trying to keep the weight equally distributed between front and back, so not as to wobble. So down and up, down and up, down and up. All right. Our next basic movement we have is the plank, and we actually have two types of plank. We have the high plank and we have the low plank. So the high plank, you're going to be up on your hands, and then the low or elbow plank, you're down on your elbows. So let's start with the high plank. We're going to go down on our front hands like we have back hands. We're going to go down on our hands. This is hard to see, but we're going to put our legs out back. Try to keep them about shoulder length apart. Keep your chest up. you want to put your weight into your butt, so it's kind of in the back. You want to suck in your stomach and just hold. It's basically like all core work here. So that is a high plank. I might have to redo that, I couldn't really see me. And then low plank, same concept except you're on your elbows. So we're gonna get down. I don't know which way is the best way to do this. We're gonna get down on our elbows. I should bring this down with me. All right, here we go. Down on your elbows. Keep them apart, keep your hands apart. Keep your fingers stretched out, it'll help with stability. Legs back, and you want to hold yourself up. Make sure your back is not arching down like this. You want to keep it up. Hold your tush, and that's basically the low plank. All right, burpees. All right, we're gonna break down the burpee, everyone's favorite exercise, movement by movement. So there's a few different modifications you can do with the burpee. The strict burpee includes the push-up at the bottom, but I think mostly when we do these kick-it classes, since it's very like fast-paced, at least I leave the push-up out of it. I don't know if other people do it, but so the first part of the burpee is jump up, and then you're gonna have your legs wider than shoulder width apart, down, back, and then jump your feet back to the outside of your hands, up, and then do it again. Down, back, outside your hands, and up. A good modification for this is just to step your hands back. So you could, I mean, if your knees are bothering you, you don't even need to jump, just up, down, step right, step left, step to the outside of the right, step to the left, out. All right, mountain climbers. So mountain climbers, you start in the high plank position. And bring this down. You're basically going to start in high plank. And then you're going to bring your knee into your elbow, the same side. There is an alternation where you can bring it to the alternate side, but for the basic form of the mountain climber, you're going to just bring your knee in, jump it in, and alternate in, out, in, out, in, out. All right, last but not least is another one of everyone's favorite, push-ups. So you can do modification to this too from your knees, but the basic push-up, you're going to start in a plank, lower down your elbows, up. And then a modification would be just to stay on your knees, down and up. You want to make sure that your hands are on the sides of your chest, more closer to your rib cage than out by your shoulders, because that kind of defeats the purpose of push-up. Down and up. And those are the basic movements for all kick-it classes. Bye.